Happy Monday and happy first official day of spring. I hope your day is off to a terrific start, and you might be wondering, if you don't live in my state. If you live in my state, then you know. But if you don't, you might be wondering, why are you wearing a coat if it's the first day of spring? Yep, that's what I was thinking. But it seems like where I'm at, we have required a fifth season, and it's called winter spring. We started off with 20 something degree weather. I don't know where it's at now, but it's still cold. Okay. So happy first official day of winter spring to you. And if you're basking in the warm weather, enjoy it, soak it up. I'm jealous. Okay. But let's move on. I'm out for a walk in the middle of the day just so I can kind of refresh my mind, break things up a little bit. It's also adding to the joy bank. So, and I normally don't use words like joy bank, but that's kind of cool. I like that that just came up. So I'm going to, stick with that. So I'm adding to the joy bank. And I wanted to pop in and encourage you guys because today I have such an appreciation for joy. And you can never have enough appreciation for joy. The reason why I say that is because yesterday was a really tough day for me. And it got me to the point where I even felt like, what is going on? Like, why am I feeling like this? I have done a lot of work. I fought hard, acquired great practices. One, which was fundamental, which is I had finally started reading the Bible all the way through, not just having my favorite books like the Book of Esther, or Psalms. And so that was foundational for me. And in doing things like this, like going out for walks, having a morning routine, sitting in silence, just different things like that. So anyway, but yesterday was a tough day and I felt like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? So then I knew though, okay, let me do something to try to like break this thing up. So I went ahead and I said, let me just get on a podcast, something positive to encourage me. Pulled out a podcast. I was like, all right, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. But I was like, you know what? I need some truth. Because right now, how I'm feeling, this is a lie. So I broke out Joyce Meyer. Whew, that right there, that helped just kind of revive me back to life, again. And then this morning, I heard, joy is not in perfection. It is in presence. Joy is not in perfection. It is in presence. And that was so profound. And I thought, okay, I'm going to encourage you all with this. For the person who needs this, you might have been in a place, you might be there right now before coming across this message where you felt like, why am I feeling like this? I'm feeling so heavy. You're being down on yourself. Like, man, I was going around so positive and now I'm feeling like this today. Look, no, don't worry about that. It's not in perfection. Every day, every I is not going to be dotted and every T is not going to be crossed. Sometimes you are going to have some real experiences. Now, more and more, what joy does is it does build up our resilience. So that way we're not like up and down, like on a roller coaster with our emotions, right? We end up acquiring emotional intelligence. It's a process though. Just like healing is a process, joy is healing. It brings healing. It brings strength. So it's a process. And along the way, messages like this, knowing different practices of things that you can do, encourages you. It instills courage in you to take another step forward. We're constantly wanting to take just one more step, even if it's a baby step. Most times those are best, the baby steps, because then they build up habits in you. They cement great habits and practices in you. And know that joy is something that you're going to be, it needs to become a lifestyle, contending for it. Because just like successful people, the greats, and what comes to me is the sports analogy with Michael Jordan, where I was told by my husband, because I didn't know this, and he let me know, he said, do you know after Michael Jordan would go ahead and win championships, he would go back to the gym and practice, like, I think it was called free throws. right? So just practicing those shots like nothing but net, just practicing every single day, just practicing for hours because he understood that you can't let go of the fundamentals. It's the basics that got him to where he was, to those championships. So it's the same thing with joy, having those practices. So joy is not in perfection and every day being just right. It is in presence. And what do you mean by presence, Joanne? What I mean by presence is in the Bible where it says in Psalm 16, it says that in his presence is fullness of joy. As a matter of fact, there's an easy to read version that I liked that I wanted to go ahead because I wanted this to be very as plain as possible for you. It says in Psalm 16 and verse 8, I always remember that the Lord is with me. He is here close by my side, so nothing can defeat me. This tough day, it can't defeat you because when you remember that the Lord is with you, he is close by your side, nothing can defeat you. And spending time in his presence, in this easy to read version, it says, just being with you will bring me complete happiness. So I want to encourage you that just like how I had that tough day yesterday, and it didn't just go away, boop, just like that, like within seconds. Just like I had that tough day yesterday, but I was reminded, you know what? I need to get in his presence. And I went ahead and I put that podcast on. Then what do you have? Do you have I don't know if it could be Pastor T.D. Jakes. It could be Pastor Joyce Meyer. It could be someone else that encourages you with that truth of the word to go ahead and put you in God's presence. It could be your favorite, worship group. It could be going out for a walk. Because in case we didn't know, he created all this. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, and all of us that dwell in it, right? So go out for a walk, sitting in silence. This world is so noisy. If we could just be like this, just have a moment where you could just get to a corner by yourself. Doesn't have to be a perfect place, just by yourself for, even if it's just 1 minute, where you could just sit like this. You saw that chest rising? You could just take a moment and breathe. In silence, that's when we get to hear his still small voice anyway, right? So think about that today. What is that practice? What is that thing that you can implement today, that you can do today, and that you can add it into your schedule to make sure it happens? So that way you are in the practice of joy, of keeping it, of reclaiming it. And as you move on further along the path and along the journey, you are continually in practice for your joy, because your joy is not in perfection. It is in presence, specifically his presence. I love you. I hope this encourages you today. Have a wonderful rest of your day and week. Bye.